and Bob Morley.
Hello, Heroes Comic Con Belgium, and welcome, Eliza Taylor, Bob Morley. So happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm going to move my chair.
This is so cool, you guys. Wow. I really like it here.
Quite the space you have here.
Yeah.
You just made it really even more interesting, because we're very happy to have both of you here. Now, a question I like to start with, we're at a fans convention. I'd like to know what you both are a fan of. Is there an artist, a show, something you could be obsessed with?
Yeah. Obsessed with. What are we obsessed with?
Maybe as a teen?
As a teen, I
was really into Sailor Moon as a teen. Well, not as a teen. I was much younger. I was like, oh.
I was into X-Men.
Yeah.
And Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Though I did start watching that X-Men '97 when you were not home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it has a huge following. And talking about huge following, you were both on a show prior to the 100, a little show called Neighbours, which is a huge phenomenon in Australia. I wonder, did it prepare you for the even bigger fame you got with the 100? Especially you, because you were on that show as a child.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely a good training ground. Like, it taught me to work long hours and to learn a whole lot of dialogue really quickly. So in that way, it was a great place to kind of hone my craft.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a place. It's like an institution, I think, for a lot of young actors in Australia to be on those shows and to learn your craft and to sharpen those skills. And I think. I was going to say it was like the most hours I've worked doing a show like that, but I think the 100 probably came close to rivaling how much work it was. But yeah, it's also being on a show like that in Australia, which is on every night of the week. Sometimes going to the grocery store can be quite hard, you know.
So you knew the Fame game before?
Yeah, it was very different in Australia, yeah, compared to what it was like in North America.
And yet you were plunged in this show, the 100, if I'm correct, was shot in Canada with 2 Australian main characters. So it felt, on paper, very international. Do you confirm that international vibe? Has it got its own flavor compared to American shows?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was definitely outside of the box for that network, the CW network.
Yeah.
The 100 was kind of like its own little outlier, especially I think in a world of like IP stuff coming out, superhero stuff, to have like original content like the 100 on that network was quite refreshing, and it made it feel somewhat different to, you know, like the Arrow or Flash or whatever else was on air at that time.
Yeah.
We're going to soon open up the questions to the audience, and if you want to line up behind one of those 2 mics, if you want to ask questions, the other one is over there, to Eliza or Bob, please join the mics, and we'll come to you. I still have one question for them, and then it will be your turn. Please bear in mind that you need to speak very closely to the microphone, and also that it's a limit of 1 question, so we get as many questions as we can. So I guess my other question is, how big a part of your life is the 100 today, now that the show is done and that you have this following that's still very active?
Yeah, I think it's just amazing how much how big of a following it still has, and is like it's still growing because it has, you know, jumped from the network to TV to Netflix and other streamers. Yeah. And so I have like new fans of the show coming up to me all the time, and it's just awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think like even the fact that we're here today is like a testament to that, to the show, and like it's still quite surreal to me, and like it feels like I'm just very grateful to be here and with my best friend, and you know, meeting all you guys. So it's really cool.
And if I'm correct, there's a third friend, a 4-legged one, that is following you Your dog is with you.
Yes.
That's not our dog, but we might take him.
Yeah, Bentley has become a part of the convention crew for sure.
Yeah.
He feels like a mascot already.
He's a mascot, yeah.
I'm going to turn to the audience. We're going to start over here. Please ask your question and be as close to the mic as you can, please.
Yes, hi. I wanted to ask, after finishing the 100, was there like something you brought home from sets, like a costume or a prop or something?
Yeah, I was quite the thief. I brought home all of our jackets from over the seasons. I stole the little two-headed deer that Finn made for Clark in season 1. I stole a Mount Weather sign.
You got some, like a newspaper?
I stole the newspaper that had like Dioza on the front of it.
Yeah.
From season 6. What else did I steal? There's a few things. I can't remember what else, but yeah.
I didn't steal anything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's move over there. Please ask your question.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Eliza. It's so nice to see both of you again, so thank you for coming. I wanted to ask you what was both of yours favorite season of film and why?
You know, I've been I say season 1 a lot because it was kind of the most like nostalgic, and I really loved the story of like, you know, following the kids on the ground and the adults up in space, and I really loved that. But lately I've been like thinking, I really also loved season 2 with Mount Weather. I just thought that was a really cool storyline, and I want to watch it again. I would like to watch the show again.
Well, we tried watching it one night and it was super weird. For me, yeah, season 1 is always going to be kind of up there, just because of same reasons of being nostalgic and just so exciting. Like I think for the audience as well, we were going through those same emotions of discovering the world, discovering what our characters were. I think that's really exciting. But I think, yeah, season 1 definitely, and then season 3, and then I really like the end of season 5. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Up to you.
Hello, sorry for my English. I would like to know if you can choose another character to play. What's your choice to play another character?
From the show or any kind?
On the show.
On the show, I mean, over the years I've changed which character I want to play. They're all pretty cool. I think today I'd like to play Jaha. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying to someone earlier in the autograph line, I was like, I'm getting a bit old to play with the kids on the ground. So maybe I could try my hand at playing my mum, playing Abby. Yeah.
You as Abby and me as Jaha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Would you approve?
Yes, I approve. But no, stay Clark and Bellamy. It's better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up to you.
Hi, it's more of a personal question. If you could give any kind of advice to another actor to develop their skills or acting in general, what would it be?
I would just say not to give up, because it can be a really tough industry, but it's also one where you just don't know what's around the corner. And every time that I've thought, oh my gosh, maybe this is it, maybe it's over for me, is when the most incredible opportunities have come around. So if you love it, just keep going.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. The one other thing I would say is to be authentic in your performance. Try and find your truth in it. And we've done so many auditions over the years that haven't gone our way. And this is hard advice to take even for myself. But a lot of those things, the jobs that you don't get, it's nothing personal. You've given your interpretation and that they're looking for a different interpretation. It's not because of X, Y, and Z. I mean, they're usually higher ups that make those decisions, and might have the wrong coloured hair, might not be tall enough, the other cast member might look the same as you, but it's nothing personal about your performance. So to try and remember that, which is tough, instead of beating yourself up about not getting a role or whatnot. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wise advice. Thank you. Up to you.
So hello, so I have a question about the show The Android, and which scene was really difficult to play for you emotionally, you know?
Which scene was really difficult to play, and what was the last part?
Emotionally.
Emotionally.
Yes.
Gotcha. When at the beginning of season 5, when Clark is alone, after the.
Is that the one where there's like the whole opening sequence is just you?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's like a vulture or something?
A vulture trying to eat
Yep.
my flesh. Yeah. So there's a scene where she falls down the sandy cliff and then just like screams into, the ether and just is like, I'm done. At that point, I'd never like really screamed before, and I was so nervous because like I just didn't know if I could go to that place emotionally. And I actually had a friend of mine, he was like, when I was preparing for that scene, he was like, get in my car and roll the windows up and just scream, just go for it. And I was like, okay. So I got in his car and I was just like, ah! And it actually helped me so much. And then by the time we shot it, I felt really excited to do it, to like let all that emotion out. I'd never done that before, and it was kind of cathartic. So that was something that I was really scared about, but it ended up being really cool.
Yeah, it's like you've told me that that's kind of the hard stuff for you, the screaming and
just letting go.
Yeah, they're like the scenes that I love to do the most. The hardest one for me emotionally and technically as an actor was a scene where Bellamy's in prison. I'm not sure which season. I was locked up. The Ice Nation had locked him up. I was in there with Kane. And Rowan comes in, and so does Echo, and it's just after Octavia been stabbed and fallen off a cliff. And in that scene, Rowan's talking about Octavia, and Bellamy's like, well, it's my sister, and you're not going to kill her. She's going to come back, and, whatever it was. And then they walk in, and they drop the sword, and then Bellamy breaks down, and screams as well. It wasn't the screaming that was the hard bit, it was just the big emotional shift of being so sure and proud of his sister and like absolutely certain that she's not going to die, to finding out that she was dead and just breaking apart non-verbally. Like it was just a very quick shift. It was like doing a Chekhov play where you're like laughing one moment, crying the next. So to do that jump from those two emotional states, which feel somewhat polar opposite, just felt a little bit too far to get to within the space of 10 seconds, but I did my best. So, yeah.
And for those kind of scenes, the difficult ones, in a show that's as huge, did you find time and space to actually talk to the creators and say, I need to talk to you about this, like I have some questions about this? Did you find this time and space?
There was never any time.
No.
Rush.
Yeah, and not even that, but like within the edit, and when I was directing, they're like, no shot should last longer than 3 seconds. So the show moves fast. So those scenes, even if you took your time, it would move fast. So yeah.
You had to show those emotions.
Yeah, it was ambitious, and we had a lot of ground to cover, so we got to hit those beats. So knowing that, you're like, okay, the clock is ticking. Got to get this done. Yeah.
Up to you.
Hello. In TikTok,
A bit closer to the mic, please, so we can hear you.
In TikTok, a lot of people fight about the ship Klexa and Belak. And I want your opinion, both you, on the Clark and Belak.
My opinion, was that for me?
The ship. What
Oh,
do
the
you
ship
think
of
about the
Bellamy
ship
and Clark.
Klexa and Belak.
And Ballard. I mean, I don't really have strong opinions either way. I definitely was and this isn't as an audience member, as me as an actor, when I was asked if Bellamy and Clark should be together, which was every season, I would say no. So, and that was more because I didn't want my own ego was like, I don't want to be, my character to be tied into a romance. But, you know, as a viewer, or even just as playing Bellamy, watching Clark kind of throw herself into this relationship with a microchip, it was pretty unhealthy. But I love love, and if she's in love with a microchip, great.
Are you talking about the flame?
Yeah.
Yeah, I held on to that thing a little too long, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, Bellamy and Octavia and Raven would all be like, all right, she loves this microchip. All right. But, we live in a world of sci-fi where a microchip could be anything.
It was Eliza!
It's actually like this theory of the frog. And if the audience believes the frog is a prince, then the frog is a prince. So if the audience believes the microchip is Lexa, the microchip is Lexa. So
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that's where the deception of this object meaning something else comes from. So it's from the frog and the prince.
Oh, wow.
And a little trick there. I pulled over your eyes.
Hey, I have two questions. The first one, I know you got a really big alchemy with Alicia on set, and I wonder if there is any other character and actor with which you got such alchemy, apart from Bob, obviously. But
I'm sorry.
So chemistry.
yeah, chemistry anyway.
Right. With other actors?
Yeah.
That I mean, we were really lucky. We had a lot of strong actors on that show who we had great chemistry with. I always loved working with Richard Harmon. He's one of those people who gives his whole self to whatever the scene is, and I love that. Alicia, I feel like we had great chemistry. And it was always awesome working with her, and she's Australian, so who else? There's so many good ones.
I mean, there are some that are just such powerful actors that you feel really connected to.
Adina.
Adina and Mike Beach and Isaiah. I've always felt really confident and comfortable when I was working with Chris Larkin. There are just some actors that you're in a safe pair of hands when you're working with them, and that you can trust them to be there, to listen, to engage. A lot of that chemistry comes from having, I think, like a type of performance which is about listening and connection. So that's when I feel the most connected to other actors, is when they're engaged in the scene and they're actively listening. Outside, you could not talk to them at all when you're off set, but if you're on set and you're both working towards the same thing and you're committed to it and there's a truthfulness behind it, that's when I think you find that chemistry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. And the second one, is there a scene you would have preferred never to shoot in the 100?
The last one?
The last one. Oh yeah, I would never have shot him. I don't know.
I don't know.
Hard. It's hard to answer looking back now.
I think it's like, especially when you're, like, our job is to make those scenes work. So there's never a scene, like you might get a scene and go, I don't think this is right. It's not my job to have an opinion on that. It's my job to make it work.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've never looked at a scene and go, this has got to go, we've got to cut this, I'm not going to, like, there might be scenes where I perform poorly and then go, I wish I could redo that to make it better. But my job isn't to look at scenes and be like, let's cut this. You know, like it's like, how do we make this work? That's my approach anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that one. I mean, yeah, there's definitely ones that I look back on and I go, I wish I'd done that better. But I don't think I would have cut it out entirely. I just would be better.
Yeah. There are scenes where you'd be like, yeah, I wish I could have another go at that.
Redo, yeah.
Yeah.
How about the stunts? Because there were many. Did you feel excited, terrified by those? The stunts, like the heavy stuff.
Oh, he loves the stunts.
Yeah, no, the stunts are huge. Like they're just exciting to me, and especially stunts mixed with emotional stuff like that is really fun for me.
When we were shooting the 100, I wasn't a very physical person. Like I didn't, like compared to now, like I love the gym and I love running, but back then I was really like faking it whenever I had stunts. But it is kind of like learning a dance. It's like choreography, and it was really fun to do. But I don't think I was the best at it.
Well, you made us believe it. After you.
Hi, I love you so much. My question was, it's a more general question, but if you could change the ending in season 7, what would you change?
I mean, I feel like I know that, you know, it was put into the script that they wouldn't be able to have children, like they would be the last people on Earth, and I felt like that was a bit mean. Like, let them have some kids, you know?
Wasn't there a thing in one of the seasons where they were taking out the birth control of people?
I don't know.
I feel like that was something.
I don't remember that.
I feel like there was like a chip implanted in people when we were on the ark about having kids and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, I would, and I also would like, if I could make it so that, you know, Maddie and Bellamy were there at the end, you know, that would have been cool. But I know it's the 100 and people die all the time, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yes to that. Like I haven't seen the end of the show, so I only know what I've heard. And when I found out that they couldn't have kids, I was like, what? That's a bit cruel. Yeah, probably that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it is huge, the ending of a show that's so long-lasting. Is it something that you anticipated a lot, that you were talking with the other cast members, like, how is it going to end? Or was it not even, didn't you have any time to think about the end?
I mean, we were given a lot of warning that the show, this would be the last season. But once we were in it, you know, I don't think they knew exactly how it was going to end. That, you know, it was, because on our show there was a lot of like, reworking the story as we went along.
Yeah, like you would still be shooting it, and like the night before you'd get a script and it'd be different to what you'd learned.
Yeah.
So
didn't really have too much time to. I mean, I definitely was like, I wonder how they're gonna, you know, wrap this up. But to wrap up a show like this, I mean,
there's a lot of things that were baked into the cake.
Yeah.
And then you kind of add on a global pandemic.
Yeah, that really.
That kind of was like, yeah, and also I think shifted focus from like, let's finish a show to like, let's get home safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a weird end to a show.
Yeah, we finished in March 2020 when people were just starting to get sick. It was like, it was crazy.
And lucky.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Hi. What was your guys' favorite scene in general?
Favorite scene?
Yeah, not. It might be the one that you filmed, but just your favorite scene.
There were so many.
I mean, one of my favourite scenes, it goes back to season 1, and it was when Murphy was hanged. It was mental.
That was a crazy
It was a mental day to shoot, and we were all like, we're actually going to do this? Because it was just so, it was a crazy move for the show. We didn't think that, like we saw it in the script, and then when we were shooting it, and PJ Pesh was directing. It was very intense and
Yeah.
very gruesome. It was more than I thought we were going to do. I thought, there's no way that this is the kind of show we're making.
Yeah.
And then
We
once
really-
we did it, then they were like, this is the show we're making. And we're like, okay, this is intense. So like, to me, that scene, and even when I see clips of it, when I stalk myself on Instagram, I'm like, that was pretty intense. Like, to me, that sticks out as a pivotal scene in the show that changed the direction of the entire series.
It did. It was like we hadn't gone that dark yet. That was the
Yeah,
first
episode 4, season 1.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
That Murphy getting hanged and Charlotte going off a cliff. We were like, what are we making? This is insane.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of saw how cutthroat the whole show was. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. One of my favourite scenes to shoot was in season 2 when, it's so dark, when I have to mercy kill Finn. And I know, I mean, it's just very sad content, but it was like, it was just one of those, like, it was an incredible day on set. It was just like, we had so many background, we had 2 sets working, we had like Arcadia and then
You guys done that.
the Grounders camp. There was so many cast involved. It was it was kind of electric on set, and it was pouring down with rain, and we didn't finish until like 5 in the morning, and it was just like, I was like, this is acting, you know. It was an incredible day, or night, I should say. It was very emotional. It was cool, man.
Thank you. Thank you. That's you.
I think I got to leave early that day.
You missed out on a really good day.
Hello. So firstly, I just wanted to say that it was really nice to have a TV show with a strong female protagonist, so thank you for that. And I also wanted to ask the both of you, did the characters help you in any way in your personal life? Because they were so strong, brave, and really courageous, so just...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really didn't have much confidence in myself in my personal life. I had a lot of confidence in my acting, and like being on set, I felt very comfortable and safe. But I think I learned a lot from Clark in terms of her resilience and strength and kick-assery. She was really quite incredible, and yeah, I mean, it was, you know, playing a character for 7 years. I learned so much from her, and I also injected so much of me into her, and the lines get blurred, and you're like, who am I? But it was, you know, she is and forever will be a part of me, and I'm so grateful that I got to play her, bring her to life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, being able to be an auxiliary to, you know, a show that was female-driven was quite cool. And for playing Bellamy, it was a very empowering feeling to play someone who was so self-assured and confident, even in his wrong decisions. Like, you know, like being Bellamy and walking on set and putting on his boots, it was like, yes, this is a place that it feels very strong, coming from a place of strength, which isn't necessarily true of me as a person in day to day. So yeah, like he will always be one of my favourite characters that I've played. But I will say, like, living in his headspace for 7 years was quite a lot. And, you know, like, as a performer, I needed to really learn how to separate that. You know, because, you know, we've watched the show, and we've all watched the show, and it can be pretty dark and hardcore at times, and to live in that headspace for such a long time can be a little bit damaging. So, yeah, like, that's the truth. Yeah.
And did you find that the writers put some of your stuff from Eliza and Bob into the characters of Clark and Bellamy? It happens on long Just Living show?
They might have. They never told me if they did, but yeah, they probably.
They put in 2 rock climbing scenes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you like to rock climb, so let's do it. And I'll be like, that's like 8 hours in a harness on wires. This isn't rock climbing. But yeah, that was about it, I think. Yeah.
Up to you.
Hi, what inspired you to become an actor?
I don't know what inspired me to become an actor. I was 11 years old when I started, so I just really enjoyed doing drama at drama classes, and then when I got the opportunity to actually work on a set, I just knew from my first day that it was what I was meant to be doing, and I really didn't. I haven't changed that opinion since that day. It's pretty wild, but I just kind of knew, and I love it so much.
Yeah, I think I don't there's no one thing that inspired me and I said that's what I want to do. I just was performing when I was at school, and I knew that I was happy doing that, and so I just pursued that. And then over time, being on set became my most, other than being at home, but my most favourite place in the world to be. You know, and it's maybe due to being it's being an actor, being on set and working with other actors. Within these boundaries, you are in a world where you can express your emotions. They're not yours, they're somebody else's, but I think, you know, it was tough for me to express myself and my emotions and what I was feeling, and so subliminally my brain and my soul said, hey, here's an outlet. Use that to work through some stuff. And then now it's it's a school-based craft that I really love. So yeah.
I forgot to give Bob his bracelet. Am I allowed to give it to him now?
Oh, sure, come on then. Oh, I'm getting old.
Thank you. One more question on the left.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So you guys made a movie together. I'll be watching. So I had a couple of questions about it. First of all, because there were some scenes where you would feel like, yeah, there was chemistry and they loved each other, other scenes not so much. And Eliza, you were a producer on it. So from your perspective, both of you, do you think that they were in love or not? And another question that we were curious about, was Michelle pregnant with Marcus' child?
You know, what's funny is that she wasn't supposed to be pregnant in the movie.
No, Michelle, your lover.
Oh, that lady.
I was pregnant in
Was
real
she
life.
pregnant? She was pregnant?
I feel like
look.
defending the actress now. Let's skip past this question. The first one.
We were playing it as a couple who have fallen out of love, for sure.
Mm.
You know, it wasn't a pleasant marriage for them.
No.
But that was hard because we kind of love each other a lot. So it was different. It was a different exercise for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was a producer on it by name, but I don't think they really wanted my input. In the end. I realized that I was just a producer in name on that movie. I wasn't really collaborating as much as I would on other things. So, yeah, it was a wacky experience. It was amazing because I was 7 months pregnant.
Yeah,
we shot that.
You were quite pregnant in that, and I mean, yeah, you know, Marcus was a complex character, but I was actually more Bob, making sure Eliza got home on time.
Yeah.
So
he was like a real fierce Papa Bear on that set. He was like
very protective.
He was like watching the clock, going, "Okay, her 12 hours are up." Get her out of here.
And they'd be like, we got one more shot. And I'd be like, yeah, you should have got that an hour ago. She's going. So that was kind of like, I was very protective, making sure that, yeah.
So there was a lot of love that was hidden behind Julie and Marcus.
Julie.
That was my character, yeah. We should watch that sometime.
You've mentioned you want to watch The 100 and you want to watch I'll Be Watching.
I do! I want to see. Yeah.
Are you never curious though?
I'm just curious.
What? Am I curious about watching my own stuff?
We hear about those actors who don't want to see. Like, can you explain this relation to the image and the work you've done?
I mean, I would watch The 100 purely to be critical of my own performance and what I can do better. You know, I don't necessarily. You watch your show, I think if you're watching your own thing, you're not watching it out of enjoyment. You're watching it going, how badly did I do in this? I don't know, that's me.
I really like watching the shows because it's so cool. I'm just like, this is such an amazing thing that we get to do. It's, we have a different relationship.
We have two sides of one coin.
On TV.
Yeah, I'm much more critical of that, of my performance or like of direction or editing and stuff like that when I watch my own stuff. It's more of an exercise in learning.
Up to you.
Hi. I have two questions. First of all, what is your favorite character on the show?
A bit closer to the mic, please.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite character on the show? But you can say Bellamy and Clark.
Monty.
Do
you?
Yeah.
It's my favourite.
Monty. I'm also. Yeah, I think we are also big Octavia fans.
Yeah, and Octavia. Yeah.
Because she had such an incredible arc throughout the seasons. Like, the growth of her character was exponential.
Yeah.
And
sorry. No.
And what is your favorite ship on the show?
Monty and Harper.
Yeah. Did they have a ship name?
Marpa? Honty.
Honty? No.
Yeah, I'm a big Honty guy.
I like Murphy.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. One more question on the left, and then one more question on the right, and unfortunately those will be the last questions.
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, who is your least favorite character in the 100?
Who is our least favourite character in the 100?
Oh, that Josephine was bad news.
Yeah.
She was bad. Like, bad news. Very evil.
Just pure evil, was she?
Well, it turned out she had a very traumatic past, and you know.
Everyone has a reason for the way that they are.
That's true.
The characters I like the least. I probably like the characters that we didn't get to know that much.
Yeah.
There was a guy, Ryder or Striker, who was in season 6.
We didn't see much of him.
No. Like, it's just when like a character's potential isn't fulfilled, or you kind of
sometimes
go.
they would bring in characters, and then we thought we'd see a lot more of them, but it just kind of peters out, and you go,
What was that?
Who was that? Who was that guy?
Why did we do all that stuff?
Right.
If that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But no, like.
I like all the characters pretty much.
Yeah, they all kind of had a role to play.
Yeah. I can't. Do you have a least favourite character? I'm curious.
Oh, you know who I didn't like? Sorry. Who I was like, oh, I don't like this character.
Who?
I've forgotten his name.
Good. That's good.
the high priest, like Lex's right-hand man. Tyson? Titus.
Oh,
he was a really lovely guy.
Neil, he was so
Such a sweet
nice.
guy, but I was just like, I hate your character.
Yeah.
Just that kind of conniving stuff. And once again, we didn't learn much about him.
That's true.
Other than we saw the fruits of his labour.
Yeah.
We never understood why he was like that. Like, you got to find out about Tati's character and what it meant to be a flamekeeper and why
Yeah,
it's
that
so.
was cool.
But we didn't find out about that till later. So we just knew Titus surface level and went, this guy's not great.
He seems like bad news. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last
We'll
question.
talk about who your least favourite character is later.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Quite loud. My question is, you talked earlier about scenes you wish you could redo. Do you remember any of those scenes?
Oh, like where we didn't feel like we did very well?
Or you want to reference?
You know what? There was a scene, I don't even know. So I'm going to start again. I don't remember which season it is, but when does Abby die?
6, I think.
6. Okay. So there's a scene where Clark sees her mum's clothes and she like breathes them in and she like breaks down crying because she knows her mum's gone. And I really, for whatever reason, I think it was my first day back on set for that season and I hadn't played Clark in a really long time and for whatever reason I couldn't connect and I just couldn't, I couldn't do the full emotional breakdown. And I really walked away from that going, I don't know if I can act anymore. Like, what just happened? And I would love to redo that, because I sucked. It's true.
Yeah, I think that I would redo the scene where Echo and Bellamy first get together. When they're back, it's like a flashback and they're on the Ark. Similar reasons.
That was in 7. Yeah.
Similar reasons. I'd taken time off work and had just come back and wasn't sure if I wanted to be back. And so wasn't really fully committed and didn't feel up to speed, felt somewhat scratchy, and I think that, like, you know, my own personal stuff bringing into the scene, and then I wasn't really there, you know, and I don't think I did my best performance for Tass or for Lindsay, who was directing that episode. So, I'd probably redo that and put my heart into it. That scene, I think I probably let some people down that day, so yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you put your heart into the rest of the show, so the rest of this 6 seasons, so yeah. Thanks for that.
Oh, no worries.
And thank you for joining us. This is it, unfortunately, but if you're here tomorrow, you will have another chance to listen to Eliza Taylor, Bob Morley. You can still meet all your heroes outside in the booth. And, well, thank you for being here with us, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Please, you can leave the room through this door and that one.